Welcome all. This is Rachana Tashan, SIG coordinator of IET Club. Today I'm going to be the host for the speaker series conducted by Women in Tech Initiative of IET Club. As a speaker, we have Shilpashree, who has bagged an internship in core company, which is Pidilite. She's going to share with us her experiences in her internship and many more. Welcome, Shilpashree.
Thank you, Rachana.
Yeah, how's your internship going on, and can you brief us about your job profile?
So far, the internship has been going great. The staff over here are extremely supportive and friendly, and I'm getting new opportunity to learn about a lot of things. My job profile over here is as a GET, a graduate engineering trainee, and I've been assigned to the Nalagarh unit of Pidilite here in Himachal Pradesh.
What project are you working on right now?
My assigned project is on analysis and optimization of the utility cost for the process manufacturing and the packaging operations. So under this, what I'll have to do is I'll have to analyze the various forms of utility costs that are there and look for opportunities for improvements and propose for the optimization of same.
Nice. And from which month do you think core companies come to our college to hire interns?
Actually, it's pretty spread out. Like the core companies start coming from the very beginning. For example, Caterpillar was one of the very few early companies that came, and I think it came in towards the end of July, starting of August. And there are a few core companies that come towards the end as well. Say, for take example, Pidilite itself, it came towards the later half of November. So it is pretty spread out between the end of July to November end.
Nice. And how many core companies do come to our college to hire interns? And also, approximately, can you tell us the number of interns being hired by these core companies in total?
Okay, so talking only about the mechanical companies that came, I think around 10 companies came for internships. So we had Caterpillar, Bajaj, Sedimac, Pidilite, ExxonMobil, etc. And approximately 20 to 25 people were hired by these companies.
That's actually less, I guess. Did you try applying to any other company off campus or through any reference?
I did try applying off campus, but they were mostly research internships under IIT professors or any premier institute professors. I did not apply for any companies as such outside the campus.
And also, did you apply for any other core companies except Pidilite? And how do you face rejections from these core companies?
I did apply to other companies. In fact, I applied to all the companies that came in and also a few analytics companies as well. But I got rejected at the different stages of the selection process. But I knew the reason of this as well. It was because I was not very strong with my basics during the start of the internship process because I started preparing pretty late. And in some companies, it was that I couldn't do well in my interviews for the same reason. So once I got rejected, I started working on what went wrong and trying to improve that area.
Yeah, good to hear from you. And how did you prepare for the internship season? Can you share your strategies?
Yeah, I actually started my preparation by going through the course subjects like we had thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, manufacturing, ADMC, MOM, etc. So once the basic core subjects were covered, then I started preparing for my aptitude and side by side revising my core subjects as well. So along with these two, some companies did have some GDs and other rounds. So I just went through briefly about the techniques for the same.
Okay, what do you think is the apt time to start preparing for the internship season?
According to me, the best time to start your internship preparations would be in the summer vacations. Start as early as possible because this is the only free time where you get and you won't have any other commitments as much as you have once the classes start. right? So you can start your preparations then, and you can completely finish up the basics. So once your basics are finished, once your classes start, you can use the remaining time for revision as well as aptitude preparation and as such. So the best time to start your preparation is in the summer vacation itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think. And what skills helped you get an internship?
Okay, so to get into any internship, you need to be strong in your basics and have a good aptitude and communication skills. I think these are the things that helped me as well. But during the internship season, luck also plays a major role. That is something that you can't control on your own. So work hard, improve your basics, get strong in it, and also have a good aptitude. So that will be useful.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. And what was the procedure for selection of interns in Pidilite? How many rounds were there? Not only in Pidilite, but any other similar core companies?
Each company had different levels and different rounds. So, talking about Pidilite in particular, we initially had a resume shortlisting, and after the resume shortlisting, we had 5 rounds. The first round was an online test, which was a technical test of 1 hour duration, and the questions were basic mechanical engineering questions. So, being well versed with your basics of second year and third year is very important. So after this round, almost 50% of the people made it to the round two. Round two was also an online test, but it was a bit different in a way that it had 2 sets. The first set was having 3 internal subsets where we had to answer questions related to verbal, numerical, and logical. And here the thing was we had only 4 minutes to answer each section. And after this, the second set was a psychometric personality test, which was self-based, and the questions were about the general outlook on life and your attitude. And the third round went on to be a video interview round where you had to record your responses and submit it. So the questions were situational type of questions. You had the first 30 seconds to think about what your answer should be and prepare yourself. And the next 3 minutes, you had to record your answer and submit it. But here, there wasn't any option of re-recording or changing your answer. So that 30-second interval that was given in the beginning was your only time where you could prepare. The round four and round five were both interview stages. The round four was technical, and the round five was technical plus HR. So totally, after going through this lengthy process, 5 was gotten, 3 from mechanical and 2 from chemical.
That was really informative. Is there any specific field of interest of yours that led you to choose Pidilite for internships?
I particularly wanted to go for a code company, and that is the reason I applied for Pidilite. And their manufacturing profile and also the reviews from people that I got about Pidilite was really good. So that is why I moved forward with it.
Yeah, that's great. And apart from technical knowledge, what other skills like soft skills is required to nail a technical interview?
Yeah, as said earlier, like communication skills is very important. You need to have a grip over your vocabulary and how you express things in a technical interview. And also being and confident enough is very much needed because sometimes you won't be confident enough to answer the questions that might be taken as in a wrong way, which might lead to rejections, especially in the interview stages.
Hmm. And now that internship season is nearing and it might be offline, what are your views about offline and online internships?
Okay, talking about this question, I myself haven't experienced the offline uh, part of the internships or the interviews and technical rounds. So, as for my views, I think the offline internship season is going to be more hectic than the online one because the people will also have their classes going on and other activities as well as the internships. Then one thing that you people need to remember at this point is that it is going to be the same for every one of them. So each and every student will have the same schedule and same classes and same internship season going on. So it won't be tough for a single person, but for all in a collective way. So I think since it is comparative to each other, if you're strong in your basics and prepared well, then I think you can easily get successful.
Do you have any plans for higher studies?
As of now, I haven't thought about this.
Any mistakes that you made during your internship preparation which you regret doing it?
Yeah, I did make a few mistakes. The first one, as I told in the previous questions, was that I started my preparation pretty late, because of which my basics wasn't up to the mark, and I ended up losing out on the initial few companies that came in. So the first and foremost suggestion that I would give my juniors is that please start your preparation as early as possible, and you should have completed going through all your basics before the first company comes in. So that is the first suggestion. And the second one is that in your resume, when you're submitting, include only those projects that you're confident to speak about, and don't miss out on any projects that is related to the portfolio of that particular company, which might be useful. Because in one of the interviews, I remember that I had done a project, but then I did not mention it to them when I was questioned about it. And I was also not very confident talking about it because it was done pretty early, and I missed out on a few details. So one more suggestion is that please go through all your projects, even the details of it, so that you can talk about it confidently and talk about all the projects related to the questions that I asked.
Yeah, that's a useful tip actually. And if a person hasn't decided to go to software or core, which internship should he or she do?
Uh, if the person hasn't decided whether he has to go for a core or software, I would suggest that that person take out some time and look into the different aspects of the core and the software companies, talk to his or her seniors, and also talk to other people who have been placed in those companies, and then also start preparing for it. So once you start your preparation, also sometimes you realize that this might be my cup of tea or this might not be, right? So once you decide that, then start preparing in that particular direction, because if you haven't decided what you have to go for, you'll be stuck and you'll be running in both the directions, and you won't be able to give you 100% in any of it. So that will actually be a huge disadvantage, especially in the internships.
Yeah, that's a nice idea actually. And what are your views on women recruitment program in core companies?
I think that women's recruitment in co-companies is very similar to the male students as well. We go through the same routes and compete with everyone. There are a few companies that come in and select only female candidates, that they keep open only for the female candidates. I know that this is to encourage more female companies to come into the tech companies, and also for giving equal representation. But what my viewpoint on this is that, that there shouldn't be any uh, like criteria based on gender for the companies. Like if the person is capable, then everybody has to be allowed, and they have to go through the rounds and then get it through it.
It's nice actually. And what's your advice to students for preparing for core internships?
Okay, I repeatedly told about this. So my advice starts with start preparing early and complete your basics, get strong in your basics, and once you've completed the basics, start working on your aptitude, because here time is a huge advantage. If you know the questions, if you know how to solve it, if you're good in aptitude, then you can solve it very quickly and you'll have more time left for the other questions, right? So improve your speed and practice more and more. And one more thing is that please go through the GYAN written by your seniors who have been placed or who have done internship in that particular company. That will give you an idea about the different rounds that might happen in that company, and it will also give you more idea about what that company is looking for in the students that they're taking in. And another thing is that you need to know which profile the company is coming for, because if they're coming for manufacturing and you're preparing for thermo, it might not suit. So you need to prepare more for manufacturing for that particular company, right? So you need to look into these basic things before you start with your internship preparations.
Yeah, that's true actually, and might be due to luck or varied reasons. Some students will not get internships. So, what's your message to them?
Yeah, To be frank, luck plays a major role during the internship season. As I told earlier, that the number of companies coming are very less. Say if you take in our year itself, there are 200 students, but only around 20 to 25 have been placed in, got internship in the core company side. So the number ratio is very less when you take the whole strength. So what my advice would be that it's okay if you don't land an internship through the campus. There are many other ways. You can try for off-campus internships. You can start with cold mailing the companies, or you can go through referrals as well for the companies. And if you're oriented a bit more towards research or in those fields, you can actually start contacting professors from IIT, IISc, or other premier institutes, and they do respond back to you. And if you're skilled enough, then they do take you as their interns. So these would be some alternative ways in which you could get an internship for your.
Yeah, that was informative. Thank you for having in the session. Thank you for being in the session, and it was really good to hear from you. And all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachana. I would like to use this platform now to thank Rachana, Diksha, and the whole WIT and IET community for giving me this opportunity to be here and share my views. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.